Alrighty, so we are ready in steps. Why do white people always have to be late? Nadia! Nadia!
Nadia! I'm just trying to get my refill on. I'm still in vacation mode, boo. What? Y'all ready?
There is always one.
Hey, look, you gotta keep the glass full, right? That's what I'm
That's
talking
the way I look at
about.
life. That is great. That is great. All right, ladies.
Awesome!
Alright. Hi, everyone. Let's get right into it. So,
Start anyway, go.
I am starting. Okay, so why are we doing this vlog? Because we went to Cuba and we loved it. So let me give you a little backstory. So I wanted to plan a trip to Vegas with about 8 or 9 girls. Easy, right? Always Vegas. Always. If you don't have fun in Vegas, it's you, not Vegas. So I wanted to go to Vegas. I wanted a girls trip. I wanted to hang out. And we started a group chat, and what happened was everyone flaked. Everyone had kids or something to do or work, and so it kind of dwindled down to just Nadia and I. And so then we were like, where can we go that's different from Vegas? Always coming through. Where can we go that's different from Vegas? So we decided, do we want to take a cruise? Do we want to go to Miami? And then I think I'll give the credit to Nadia for coming up with Cuba. So we booked that trip. We were set to go. We knew nothing about Cuba except that we were going. And then Nadia says, we're just going to come to Cuba too.
So like this bitch, she's always on vacation. Like she lives on vacation.
Where does she go? 1, 2, 3, Charles! But she goes to Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos.
No, first of all,
Well, she's in Jamaica. She's in Jamaica.
Okay, yeah. So I was in Jamaica at the time that they decided we were going to Cuba. But I thought all along I was included. And I just took myself out of the group message because they never talked about traveling at all in the group
Cardi
message.
B's album.
Let me know.
It was hot. It was like the hot thing going on.
Right.
Just
Let
saying.
me know when y'all talk about traveling and I will actually go. So I get the message while I'm in Jamaica. Hey, Cuba. I was like, okay.
That's like literally a message. Hey, Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba. Question mark. Okay.
Exact quote.
Let me think about this. And I was like, yes, I am there because I had so much drama while I was on vacation. Like, I need a big girl vacation. Get back into town. The day I get in town, I book my ticket and I apply for my visa. And I said, hey, what did y'all do for your visa, guys?
We're like,
I don't know. So anyway, when you book through Southwest, and I imagine there are other airlines you can book through, when you book to a country that requires a visa, it will give you a link for that, for applying for that visa. So it was cubatravel.com, and we accessed that site from the Southwest.
You're saying we're posting it. We're like,
We're posting it.
From the Southwest Airlines website. And you go on and you pay $50 for your visa, and then you have to give them a reason. So our reason was people-to-people travel, but there are many reasons people go to Cuba: photography, education, language, journalism, and you just need to choose. So ours was people-to-people. We did group travel, and we interacted with the people. Of course, you also need a passport, and obtaining a passport takes like 4 to 6 weeks, and that is like a straight shot.
Shout out to black people with a passport.
woo!
Damn passport.
But it's okay if you don't
Domestic
have
travel.
one. It's okay.
It's okay, except it's not. Get a passport. Love you too. Mwah.
And so from there, I passed that information on to my lovely sisters who are a little bit behind with things.
Well, we had passports. We had passports too, bitch.
Anyway, so they got on the ball with their visa, and day of travel, we picked our visa up from our jump-off point, which was in Fort Lauderdale, to Cuba. It was right there at the kiosk where we picked up our boarding passes and all of that. So it was super easy. Passports, visa, we're there.
So, like, the other thing I would say, like, the other, like, thing that gave us, like, anxiety after Ruba, because she's a planner. Like, she's a real planner.
On top of it being like a week before we left.
Right.
Anxiety, right?
So, like, Shanice calls me because she's in a new state. Like, she just moved for her job. She's like, hey, can you pick up our currency? And I was like, I guess. So then I get on, I start Googling and find out the currency.
I got the message, can you pay me for the Airbnb in Cuban pesos? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So then we're like, so she's like, can you pick up the currency? I'm like, yeah, I can currency. So guys, this is super, super important. Number one is that I have two banks, so I called both of my banks. Ruba called like AAA, and everyone was like, yeah, we can exchange you for CUCs, we can exchange you for Cuban currency. Don't believe them. Don't believe the hype. It's absolutely fake. We went to AAA, went to both of my banks,
And
right?
Whitney.
And Whitney, and we went to like a credit union that one of us has, and listen, they cannot exchange it. So what you do, this is what we learned. You first exchange it for
Well,
euros. Euros. Yeah. So we didn't exchange it for euros, right? We were trying to get the Cuban currency, which we got at the airport. But the best exchange rate is to exchange it for euros, right?
For euros,
We didn't know
yes.
that at the time, so we waited till we got to the airport. The currency is much better if you do it for euros.
Yeah, and the airport in Cuba, mind, not the airport from
Yes, the
States.
airport in Cuba. That's why the exchange rate is really good. So be very cautious about that. If you do it in Cuba, just be time sensitive. A lot of times if you go through an Airbnb, we'll talk about that, they'll arrange a ride to pick you up. So just make sure that sometimes there's a line, there was a line for us, so just know those things going in. And then the other thing we're worried about being time sensitive, now this is my recommendation, like the girls know that I truly believe in this. Whenever you're traveling, like if it's a 4 or 5 day trip like we did, try to do carry-ons. That's super important for us because I am one that's prone to have like their luggage lost. Like every single time, it doesn't matter if it's a direct flight, they lose my shit, like no matter what. So what we say, like more than anything, is pack your luggage to be on the flight if you can, so your carry-on. And on the way back, if you have an additional bag that you want to go ahead and like pack to check, that's fine. But on the way there, we really recommend carry-on. We also read that on a blog or on a website or somewhere. And so that's what we did. We did notice when guys were getting in from our flight that they were getting their luggage like pretty quickly.
It's pretty quick.
We don't know if that's standard, but yeah.
We didn't want to take the chance of having to wait in line for 2 hours because that's what we read, that you would have to wait in line for 2 hours to get your bag. And
Especially when you still have to exchange currency, which you probably will, because as we said, you'll get euros, and so there's a second step in exchanging it for CUCs to get that better rate.
Right. And so CUCs is the current rate everywhere. I think we're going to talk about this in our next video when we talk about like restaurants and stuff. But the other thing is that when you have currency, you have the CUC. Let's say if you get into a situation that was really bad for us, like we ran out of money, it was horrid. Right. And I was like, what are we going to do? I've never been as broke since I was like 20. I don't understand. But, oh my God. So anyway, we started haggling. But the point is that if you're running low on funds in Cuba, what we also recommend, guys, is that you talk to the restaurants, because a lot of the restaurants will take American money or take whatever your currency is. So, like, don't stress out too much, because I had a complete meltdown. I'm sure she will expose me about my meltdown because she thinks it's hilarious. But I did. I had a meltdown about being broke. Okay, so, like, let's move on. So, the other thing we did, which was really cool, so Shanice has enlightened us when it comes to Airbnb. So, like, I've never done Airbnb. Ruben's never done Airbnb. She's a complete resort girl. She's bougie like that, black bougie. But I am.
Don't hate.
Put your pinkies up.
Don't hate.
So she does like all resorts.
You gonna hate a little bit.
I'll do all resorts, but I've never done Airbnb. So even though I travel with my kids, I've thought about it, but not quite done it. So Shanice enlightened us, because I think her last trip to Europe, she did an Airbnb. It worked out.
I did.
So how did you like? It was a great experience. But she will also tell you, by that being a great experience, like all the Airbnb hostess are not quite that way. So I think we're going to talk more about Airbnb on the next video, but I know that that was a great thing for us overall. You want to talk anything about the Airbnb or what was different or anything right now?
So I think that the biggest difference, and we are going to talk about Airbnb in a later video, but the biggest difference between Airbnb and standard hotels, you really get to feel like you're a part of the culture, like you're living in the place. And in a place like Cuba that is so full of life and so beautiful and so fun and so vibrant, I think that's the best way to experience Cuba.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
With the locals, so it was amazing.
So I know that our hostess, we did a super hostess, and one thing that we did that you got to do in Cuba, if you're not going to completely disconnect, is you have to filter for internet. So we're like 3 ladies, right? We're very used to, we live on our own. We've been living on our own for a very long time. So like we need our own bathrooms.
Okay.
So we filtered for our own bathrooms, which is super weird, but we did. Like we had 3 bathrooms with 2 beds. That's like crazy, but we did 3 full bathrooms with 2 beds. And then we also filtered for internet. So like the internet cards, I think we have them. They'll be pictured down here, guys. But it's very important for you guys to know that if you don't search for internet cards, there's only a perk that you can go to get the internet. Now, I use it a lot because I have kids and I have parents that I help to care for. I'm a caregiver for elderly parents. She has a little kid. I don't know what she's doing now, but she has a little kid. And then,
And I really only used it when Nadia was on. I piggybacked off of her because I was trying to get away from the chaos.
yeah,
I can disconnect, but unfortunately, Miss Nadia
I
can't.
couldn't.
But I had to. Everybody was straight, and I was confident in the people that I left my children in the hands of. So,
Well, I did disconnect, and a person that's really into just checking their phone, even if there's nothing to check, cry for me, I'm on my phone, but I really disconnected in Cuba because there's not a lot of places to connect to internet. Like Nadia said, there's internet parks and there's cards, but you are totally cut off. So I have two services. I have AT&T and I have Verizon, and both had no service the whole time. So do be prepared to be totally cut off. Except for the times when you are able to get on the internet, because I cannot get cell phone service anywhere in Cuba.
Well, I will say this, like the internet when we checked it, the service was super expensive for us. So it was like $2 a minute or almost $3 a minute, $2.50 a minute. Like it's not worth it. So I mean, it's worth it to us to just go ahead and just disconnect and use those internet cards.
and enjoy.
And absolutely enjoy.
You know, you need to go there and experience. So you can't do that when you're trying to be on the phone all the time.
So I think what's expected when you go to Cuba? So number one is that make sure your currency is straight. Make sure you get your visa and your passport.
Yes.
Yes.
Pack one bag.
Pack a bag. Yeah, definitely pack
One bag that you
One.
Right, so that you can carry preferably, because you get 2 carries-ons if you do Southwest like we did. So those are like the big things. If you have any other questions, guys, post them below. Like we'll respond to the questions as quickly as possible. But most important, we want to share our adventures. We'll have more coming up and more videos like what we did in Cuba. So subscribe.
What's our next video?
Well, our next video is what we did while we were in
did.
Cuba.
It was
So it's
awesome.
like activities, what we did, how it was planned, how
The
great our
Cuban
host
men.
was. Oh my God.
Oh,
The
yeah.
men.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Can you tell we're single and we've been single for a while? Can you tell? Okay, so anyway, so what we did is up next. So guys, stay tuned and watch what's next. Subscribe and hit that bell so you get those notifications rolling.
Subscribe, guys.
Travel team.
Travel team. Zip, zip.